So, you want to save a whole lot of money on your groceries, but the thought of coupons makes you want to cry and sweat and steam comes out of your ears? No worries, I have one hack for you today that is going to save you money on your grocery bill. I can't wait to tell you about it, because if there's one thing I like, it's saving money. I have this friend, we're gonna call her Jen. Her name's actually not Jen. When I tell this story, she's gonna know I'm talking about her, but it's fine. Jen and I were friends way back in the day when we lived in our starter $100,000 homes, and our husbands made very little money, and we had lots of little kids. We were trying to save money as much as possible by letting the kids play outside on our driveway instead of paying for them to do activities. Jen frequently told me that she was spending $800 to $1,000 a month on groceries. And when you only make $30,000 a year, that's like, oh my gosh. It gave me a heart attack back in the day to hear that she was spending that much money. And then she would also say things like, I don't know what to make for dinner. I don't have any food for dinner. And I'm kind of like, what in the world is she doing? Because at the time I was only spending about $200 a month for my family of 4 or 5 at the time. So the question is, what was my friend Jen doing wrong and what was I doing right to account for this basically $800 a month discrepancy in our grocery budgets? And honestly, it was one thing that we did differently that saved me a ton of money and could have saved her a ton of money. Don't worry, she learned how to do it later, and now she saves a lot more on her groceries. And I'm gonna share it with you today. Here's what Jen did when she went to the store, is she would wander the aisles with her cart and put things in that looked good. So she would say, oh, yum, I like chicken, or these vegetables look delicious, or oh, this fruit is so yummy, and fill her cart with all of these things that looked good in the moment, checked out, $200. A week later, she'd get home and say, wow, I have no idea what to make for dinner. Now here's what I did that is different, is I would sit down with a list.
It looks like a list.
Wrong, it's a list.
And I would plan out, this is what I wanna eat on Monday, this is what I wanna eat on Tuesday, and I would write down the ingredients, go to the store and buy those ingredients. So I had a plan, I had a purpose, I knew what I was doing, and you might be thinking, well, duh, you meal plan and then you go to the store. But you would be surprised at how many people don't do that. So let's take you through the steps on what I do to save a ton of money by meal planning. No coupons, no shopping sales, no digging through your freezer and figuring out what in the heck you're gonna do. I'm telling you, you do this one thing, you will save money on your grocery bill. I have my pad of paper and my pen. Of course, you can use an app on your phone if you're into that kind of thing. I just really like crossing stuff off. So the first thing you're gonna do is start with a dinner that you've made before and you like. You don't have to like make all 7 new recipes for the week. Stick with what you know. If what you know is a box of sauce, wait, what? If what you know is a box of pasta and a jar of sauce and your family likes it, great. Write that down. You don't have to be coming up with new recipes all the time. It is okay to stick with something you know is going to be a winner, because nothing is more frustrating than trying to make a new dinner for your family and having them all go, what is that? Because that's what my son Ryan always does. What's this thing here? I don't know about this thing. Number 2, and I've talked about this before, and that's meal planning based on what you have. So if you have a huge container of oatmeal in your house, guess what? You're having oatmeal for breakfast. You can make oatmeal bread. You can do oatmeal muffins. In fact, I just made some applesauce oatmeal muffins here on my channel. You can make protein oatmeal bites. Like, you can use that oatmeal as this big kicking off point to give you ideas for the rest of the week. And also, for example, let's say you want to get some chicken because you want to make chicken Alfredo, which I really like actually. The Pioneer Woman's recipe is very good. And so you get this huge family pack of chicken and you know you're only gonna use half of it for the recipe. Well, guess what? You have a half a pack of chicken. So you could also do chicken fajitas. So you have 1 big pack of chicken, you just have 2 dinners. Boom. So now we only need to write down what we need for the chicken fajitas because we already have the bulk of the protein ingredients. Next up when it comes to meal planning, and this does depend on your family, and that's it's okay to eat leftovers. I do know some people, some are friends, some are family that really have a hard time with leftover meat. So if you have those kind of people in your family, maybe be strategic about what you cook. That being said, if I make a lasagna, my family is not going to eat a huge pan of lasagna for one meal. They just won't. So it's okay to put the cover on it, stick it in the fridge, and pull it out 2 days later, and guess what? There's another meal with no work other than hitting the buttons on the microwave. Now, if you are a 100% beginner at this, let's go by meal. Start with breakfast. We're writing down breakfast for 7 days, and then pick the things you like. And if the things you like is eggs and toast every morning and your family will never complain about that thing, why reinvent the wheel? Why try and change it up just because other people on social media are doing that? You don't have to do that. Write down eggs and toast. Make sure you have your bread, make sure you have your eggs. Maybe you like cheese on it, add some cheese onto your list. Boom, breakfasts for the week are done. The thing about lunches is my family is super simple on lunches. We keep some basic ingredients in the house for sandwiches, quesadillas, wraps. If we have leftovers for a meal, like let's say we have a lasagna, maybe we'll have that lasagna for lunch the next day. But otherwise, my family's very basic on lunches. Cheese and crackers. Sometimes I have mac and cheese if I remember to buy it. Hot dogs. I'm better about that during the summer than I am during the school year. The school year is really like sandwiches, granola bars, and fruit. And like that's about as far as it goes. We are not complicated for lunch. And I know if you've got kids, if they're anything like my kids will eat a sandwich every single day and not complain about it. Like legit, every single day. The only one who likes anything different is Haley. So maybe I get a couple of bagged salads. Maybe she eats leftovers with me, and boom, we're done. Make sure you have your bread, your PB&J, or whatever sandwich fixins you like, and you're set. And let's say you want to do fruits and vegetables as your side dish for lunches or even for dinner, shop seasonally. And you're going to save the most amount of money that way. Now for dinners, I've given you a lot of tips of generalities of what you can do, but I will share specifically what I do. I really like to plan out 1 week at a time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. For me, that's really far out. Our schedules can change. Maybe we're tired one night. I like the flexibility of only going a week at a time out and then feeling out maybe what I planned on making and didn't make, and that'll cover me for week 2 of the month. Okay, so let's start with that. You don't have to do once a month cooking if you've never done it and it's intimidating to you. It's okay. Start with a week. Start with 4 days. That's okay. Who said you had to do 7 days? Nobody. So we have one recipe that is a tried and true. We know it's easy and we know we can do it, so we write that down. Maybe even we have 3 of those recipes. So it's gonna be tacos, it's gonna be burgers, and it's gonna be pizza. Because let me tell you what, my family would eat tacos and burgers and pizza every single day and be happy about it. I look at my schedule for the week, and if I have one night that's super busy and I know I'm gonna be gone, maybe it's a crock pot meal. Maybe that's the night I do a box of pasta and a jar of sauce and call it done, because it takes like 10 minutes to make dinner and everybody's happy with a spaghetti type of a product at my house. Maybe I have a freezer meal that I made, so I pull that out for that night. And then once I get to that point, that's when I start thinking, okay, let's look through a recipe book, let's check out Pinterest, check out YouTube, and see if there's a recipe that looks really interesting and delicious to me. Now, I only meal plan 5 dinners a week. Yes, there are 7 nights a week, but I make a ton and we eat leftovers. So there's only 5. For example, for me, for this week, I happen to have some bags of Trader Joe's orange chicken that I wanted to try. Well, guess what? That's a really easy dinner. It's in my freezer. All I need is some rice. I have some frozen broccoli. Boom. I have a meal ready to go, and I didn't even have to buy anything yet. Okay, so that's one meal set. We are going to do spaghetti with sauce. First of all, it's easy. 2, we haven't had it in a while. My family likes it. And 3, I have a bunch already. I open my pantry and I think, oh my gosh, why do I have so much pasta sauce? Pasta, because I keep stocking up on it, we're gonna actually use some of it. There's dinner number 2. I've basically not been shopping yet. Number 3, it is summer and it is grilling season. I just refilled my propane tank, so it really feels to me like we should be grilling something outside. One of my favorite things to grill outside is bone-in chicken. I'm gonna write down grilled chicken with maybe like a big salad. Okay, now I have something I don't have. I don't have the salad ingredients. So I'm gonna write down on my shopping list, lettuce, tomato, cucumbers, like colored bell peppers. Maybe I need some croutons. Maybe I'm out of salad dressing. I mean, I'm not, but maybe you are. And so I write my list of the items I need to go with that dinner. Now I want to pull up Pinterest and I look at all of the Pinterest recipes and I see this like oven baked chili dog casserole thing, which doesn't sound healthy even a little bit, but really sounds delicious. So I'm gonna write down the hot dogs, I'm gonna write down the canned chili, the cheese, and make sure I have all the ingredients for that. So now I have 4 dinners. I need 1 more. I'm gonna go check out my freezer again. I have a roast. You know what? It's summer, it's hot outside. Crock pot's the way to go. So I'm gonna do a crock pot roast with veggies. So I write down whatever veggies I want to have, and I have my shopping list for the week. 5 dinners with room to have 2 days of leftovers, or like an easy night, like a sandwich or like omelets or something like that. I have my eggs, my bread, my sandwich fixings, my fruits and vegetables that I wanna eat for the week, and we're done. So now all we have to do is go to the store, put the things in my list on our cart, and we can eat for an entire week. Instead of wandering through the store, getting some things that might look okay, and then I end up with 15 packs of chicken in my freezer, 10 heads of lettuce and some tomatoes, and no plan on what I'm actually going to cook. There were many times early on in my marriage that my husband would come home, look in the fridge and the pantry and say, there is no food in the house. And I was like, what are you talking about? I have everything I need to make for dinner. And I would pull out like 5 ingredients, whip together a dinner he didn't think I could do. And I'd be like, boom. Who's the boss now? He was always super impressed by my ability to put together a meal based on what he thought was nothing. And that's because if you don't have a plan, it's hard to look at ingredients and see a finished product. But if you go into the store with your plan, it's easy to see how these items come together. It really only takes like 10 to 15 minutes of planning at the beginning of the week. You don't need coupons, you don't need special apps, you don't need special shopping. And then once you have your list, these days oh my gosh, there's a bee! Did the bee fly out? This is what happens when you leave your door open. Her rate's coming down. These days, you don't even have to go to the store and be distracted by what's there. Now, my area doesn't really have Instacart, but they do have Walmart grocery pickup. You can like put everything in online, drive up, they put it in your car, and you drive away, and you're done. So you don't have to be tempted. You don't have to be like, ooh, this Gatorade looks delicious, or ooh, yum, a chocolate bar, delicious. You can just put in your plan, pick it up, come home. You've saved money, you've saved time, and you can impress your family when they say, there's nothing to eat in this house, and then you whip up this amazing meal out of what seems like nothing, and then they say, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. Basically, if you haven't started meal planning yet, please do it. You will save so much money. You will be shocked at how well you can feed your family with a little bit of preparation, and then you'll have a whole bunch of money to spend on other stuff. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would hope that you'd help me up with a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want to see future videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.